For Vegas Hockey Hub and here on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media, I'm your host, Ian Kelly, and this is your preview for Game 3 between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Minnesota Wild. The game is about to kick off very soon, so we are going to give you this 5-minute preview. And I understand that there's going to be fans that are going to look back at Game 2. There's going to be some negative reactions. There's going to be some cause for concern based off of what happened in Game 2. But what we're going to do on this preview and what we're going to do on this 5-minute episode is that we are essentially going to try to move past it. All right, it's a Game 7 series for a reason, all right? It's a best of 7. You have to win 4 times to move on to the second round. There's a reason for that. So after having that Game 1 performance, you pick up the win. Game 2, it did not go Vegas's way in Game 2. And I said that in Game 1, the goaltending was going to be the main focus. That ended up being correct. Game 2, I spotlighted the defense and what the defense needed to do in order to get the job done. And we did see that defense did end up being a factor on both sides. Vegas's defense and the Minnesota's defense. We both kind of saw who had the better defense that night, who took advantage of certain situations. Now for Game 3, your Vegas Golden Knights, your main key to this game is turnovers and the limiting of turnovers in this game. Based off of what we saw in the last 2 games, when it comes to turnovers and taking advantage of those turnovers, both teams have done that in each game. Game 1, Vegas, they were capitalizing on Minnesota's mistakes. They were going down the side of the ice, going from the defensive zone into the neutral zone, then into the offensive zone, and finding a way to create opportunities and get the puck past Philip Gustafsson. Now, in Game 2, Minnesota did that exact strategy on Vegas. If Vegas caused a turnover, if it was, some passing opportunities that went awry, if it was, some situation where the puck would go off somebody's stick and if it would land in Minnesota's hands, whatever the situation was, Minnesota's main opportunity in Game 2 was capitalizing on Vegas's turnovers. That's how they scored 4 of their 5 goals, was them taking advantage of mistakes that were done by Vegas. So for Game 3, the key to this game is that Vegas is going to have to, A, limit the turnovers on their end, and B, kind of similar to Game 1, you're going to need to force Minnesota to cause mistakes. You're going to need the Wild to turn over the puck in the neutral zone. Even if it's great, have Minnesota turn over the puck in their defensive zone so that you could be in the offensive zone to create opportunities to score for Vegas. When it comes to hustle, this is a Vegas Golden Knights team that over the season, we have seen some games where there's a lack of hustle in the first period, the first half of the second period, and then they kick it into high gear with the remaining 30 minutes of the game. In this game, I would recommend to Vegas, you have to be hustling this entire game. The Minnesota Wild, with their young stars, they are energetic. They hustle. They got that heart, that speed when it comes to straight line. So for Vegas, your key of the game is going to be the turnover and causing turnovers on Minnesota and limiting your turnovers in Vegas's zone. But a secondary objective would be hustle. All right, you need to, address that lack of hustle that was in Game 2 and kind of start firing on all cylinders to begin the game. In fact, that would be a great statement for Vegas, is they came right out the gate and ended up, being energetic in the first half of this game. So, like I said, the game about to kick off in about 15 minutes. This is Vegas Hockey Hub preview. This is where our short videos, 5 minutes, talking about the upcoming game. And we are going to upload the recap show. It's going to be around 11 p.m. or midnight. Just keep your notifications turned on. And until next time, go Knights go, and let's hope for a victory tonight for the Vegas Golden Knights.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.